a bit.
Yeah.
But one thing that hasn't changed is this ban setup. Cassio and then the Gnar follows through, as we saw it last time around, and the Alistar on the Giants side.
Yeah, Alistar taken away in every game so far. At this point, we have to look at the adaptations. Cassio was taken away in the last game. Gnar, this is the second game it's been banned in as well. I like the Gnar to take away from Ruin. Yeah, at least because Shook, on that full AP, Elise just did a great job of actually providing AP damage into the mix, whereas it looked like there may have been only 80 threats as we were going later.
Yep. Well, they didn't really need to worry about it going too much later. Now the Syndra's been banned out by NIP. We'll see what Giants respond with. It will be another support pickup against Spraddle. The Thresh's been banned pretty consistently.
Looking at what else is there, the Talia could be another ban out of Giants. Remember that was banned on the games that they were on red side before.
That's Callista.
Okay, interesting. So this is Giants not wanting to buy into the Caitlyn-Callista matchup again. It was one that NIP picked in game 1 for themselves. Now that means Tristana is there as well.
Is the Thresh first pickable, though?
Well, it is first pickable, but whether NIP wants it or not. I mean, Spraddle has had a good Thresh performance this split.
Oh, but they want the Lucian again. Okay, very quick pickup.
Now, I'm not anticipating that to be bot lane, but it could be, of course. We have seen Lucian AD carry a couple of times, most likely mid lane for Nagne. A pushing lane, one that he can assume control of. Not too many matchups can actually deny that in the early game, but that does give over Giants the ability to take the Tristana for themselves. The Thresh alongside very quickly locked in. Now, Zac is still available in this draft. We've had it available in a number of the games and not picked apart from in one.
All right, well, NIP go the route of that. Shook's Elise banned away once more. They're going to have to find something a little bit different, but early priority on Nagne. They fill out their bottom lane here. Do we get ourselves the jungler? We're going to find out 4 seconds down the line, and it is going to be a Xayah. Rakan is, of course, still up, so they could combo that right now.
Yeah, they could very well. They now have some later game threat. They could also go... This would be showing all of their cards if they went like a Rumble here, but they will be lacking AP if they get to the late game again. Just like the last game, but they didn't get to the late game, and NIP had won it.
They take the Janna instead. Okay, so they get themselves a little more disengage. But all right, now it's back over to Giants, and the Orianna's been left up.
First game, Orianna has been available. Chizuki's most played champion in this split. Has been a very strong performance, or performer, on this Orianna. Gives them late game team fighting, gives them mid game team fighting as well. Good shielding that comes through.
Toying with the idea, 3 seconds, they're gonna lock it.
Yep. So, where do we go now? We're looking at Orianna. Typically a matchup that Lucian does win in the early portion, gets shoved in, does the Orianna, but Orianna can actually compensate for that with a lot of the wave clear that she has later on. But still one that Nagne should be able to take advantage of. That Zac is off the cards now, though.
Yep, no longer an opportunity for Shook. Of course, you know, he's kind of shown quite a large number of champions. The Sejuani came out one. Obviously, they're not going to have any Sejuani Braum stuff because the Janna was locked in. I wonder if they do need a tank, though, in that jungle. Gragas up and available would be a takeaway, but for the time being, they decide to ban Camille.
Yeah, Camille was that matchup. The Prophet looked very strong on into the Jarvan. Now, if Giants are anticipating a Jarvan for themselves, you would think they could pick Jarvan as their first pick and flex it. The Rumble now off the cards again, banned away, so NIP won't get that AP damage coming through. I wonder if there are any better picks here as a setup for Giants than that Jarvan.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. Ninjas, they have a chance to ban that one out. One more with 10 seconds left until it goes back into pick phase 2. They focus up the top side, try to leave the champion pool in ruins. That's the answer.
Yeah, too strong was the flex threat here. Gragas would be one that Gilius could run, but then, of course, runs himself into a slightly tougher matchup. And it's an awkward one here at this point for Giants, because you basically either pick top side and get counterpicked, or pick jungle and maybe get counterpicked. It's a little more difficult in that respect.
Yeah, I think the Gragas makes a lot of sense. Gilius didn't look too bad on it the last time around, and it really wasn't the reason that they lost out on that game. It's been much more of a priority to just sort of have themselves a utility tank, something that they don't have to worry about getting jumped on and turn fights around if need be.
Yeah, and disengage as well on both sides of this. We got the Janna on one side, the Gragas on the other. You got team fighting. Sejuani would be a pick we've seen Shook play before in this series.
Needs to do more than he did that game, though.
Yeah.
We saw maybe a handful of Glacial Prisons. I want to see what Shook can get done this time around on the Pig Rider.
Now, one pick I don't want to see here, Devin, but would be an AP option, would be the Cannon.
No.
I'm not a big fan of AP.
Everybody gets big stars in their eyes when they remember the Smeb highlight plays. Yeah. It doesn't work that well anymore.
No,
also,
it doesn't
you're not
work
Smeb.
that well. Okay, this is the complete opposite.
Here we go. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Now, you do get some damage coming through, magic damage from the, if you end up going the Sunfire King route, but normally we've been seeing the Titanic Hydra for more damage and push threat. So you, of course, have the Stand United, multiple targets to proc it on, or activate it on, but against the Shen,
Poppy.
Where's Ruin going? Poppy has been one of the picks we know Ruin has played throughout a lot of his career here in Europe.
Gets it again.
It does get it again. We'll see if he buys items.
There's a lot of disengage on the Giant side as well when you think about it.
Yeah.
Between the Gragas Barrel, the Poppycopter. But they also want to pull people in, right? They got the box. They got the Orianna. I'm wondering how this will all work out. At the end of it all, Giants, though, they have some mean late-game team fights for sure. It's going to be pinball on the Rift.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the Shen-Poppy matchup here as well. Neither one is particularly dominant early on. I mean, Shen can do a good job of trading, but so can Poppy. It's a less, carry on the side lane focus than before. In a lot of the games, we've had like the Kassadin, we've had the Camille, we've had that type of pick. Poppy can assume that role, but not as strong.
It seems, looking at these compositions, that this might be what was promised before the first draft, that we would get some epic team fights a la the last day of play that we saw in the promotion tournament. Maybe this is finally the time. Game number 4 between the Ninjas in Pyjamas and Giants. It's all on the line to try and keep your fortunes high to move themselves into the winner's matchup up against Schalke. Of course, the loser dropping down to face off against Mysterious Monkeys. It could all end here and now if Giants are able to put this one away. But perhaps the Ninjas still got a couple of smoke screens to throw down.
Yeah. That would be a quick exit, though. That's not what they want, Devin. They don't want a quick exit. Because a quick exit would mean they lose the series. Well, they want to be here for a while.
Maybe they obscure the vision and then go to the Nexus. We'll see if it happens. We've got an epic game on our hands. A lot on the line here as the Ninjas and the Giants take to the Rift for the 4th time today. Let's see how it all unfolds.
NIP can do a similar thing around that middle lane with the Lucian. Look towards assuming control, push it out, get themselves an attempt on the tower. Rift Herald might be even more necessary this game.
Oh, yeah.
Orianna can do a little bit better earlier on than the Victor.
All right. Mini Trupax looking to go on a serious mission this game to victory. Omega Squad, Tristana. But it definitely seems like things are going to shift up a bit. We talked a lot this series about Prophet, about Ruin, about if Prophet can carry enough. This game is not going to be about that at all. Definitely keeping an eye on the mid lane and on the AD carry matchup. Once again, let's see how these fights end up getting set up. But that'll be a while away. A little bit of chatter going on the side of the stage. NIP pulling back just a bit. Looks like we'll be in for the big leash.
Giants are quite a loud team.
Yeah,
you've
heard Mini Trupax laugh a few
times. His laugh, almost like a hyena.
Yeah, I thought I was watching The Lion King. It was a little scary.
Mufasa. Mini Trupax at that point. But look, Jack Troll, and I'm never doing that again. Jack Troll and Mini Trupax trying to, once again, assume control of the lane. This is a very interesting start here. Janna has gone up. Only Janna. Hiku is still in the bottom lane. So just shield Shook to try and get a little bit of extra survivability through the beginning. And over the wall, Nagane is like, okay, I can give you a piercing light and a couple of light slinger auto attacks, and it's good. So Shook, of course, will be able to clear that Raptor camp a little more secure than if he was just there on his own. Gragas, on the other hand, though, very good with the Orianna. He basically just killed the Raptor camp immediately.
Yeah, last time around, we talked a lot about Shook having, a really solid impact in this early game on the Elise. This is going to be a bit different. I feel like this is where Gilius can once again kind of outmatch him because last game notwithstanding, Gilius seems to have gotten the better of his counterpart in terms of just how fast he's been able to clear through his jungle and be where he needs to for the team.
Yeah, Gilius has more often than not found Shook on his attempts to make a play into the lanes. There were a few opportunities on that Elise game, specifically against Victor, game 3, where Shook found the play in middle lane, got the flash, re-ganked, was able to end up getting a flash a second time. Those were a few times that Gilius wasn't able to really match up against Shook, but I think this game should be a little different. Sejuani has a tougher time getting into the lane than the Elise. Of course, you can use that Arctic Assault, flash in to try and get a summoner down. It'll be kind of key to get Jizuki's flash as early as possible.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And he's got a lot of survivability, sustainability. Of course, running the heal as well in the mid lane. Up against Nagne, who has a much more aggressive summoner in the form of that Ignite. Now, Shook will get some early damage out in on the Rift Scuttler to be able to try and keep Vision alive as he moves into the enemy jungle. Finding nothing, though, unfortunately, so he's just going to have to play some Vision down. And Gilius still playing towards this bottom side. Shook actually has the jump on his opponent for this game, and now he's heading up top.
And another time, you can see a ward has already come through from Ruin into the Tribush. Very similar to game 2 here, where Ruin would be able to see Shook coming. Gilius isn't on the top side. He's about to be spotted on a ward in the bottom side if he were to path that way, but he didn't. So Gilius isn't on Vision either. But there's a lot of threat towards Jizuki in the middle lane at the same time. Jizuki having the rough end of the trades, as to be expected in the Lucian Orianna matchup.
Yeah. I mean, after the first 2 games, you can't really blame NIP for trying to put as much attention as they possibly can on Jizuke. He's definitely proven the moniker of the Italian god true. Last game had a bit of a tougher time. Let's see if that ends up being the same way. Half his health is still left.
And no potions have been used by Nagne, and no potions in the inventory of Jizuke either. You can see Nagne still trying to push forward.
Aggressive posture right now. Oh, you wanted this farm? Nah, you can't have it.
Similar thing is happening on the bottom side. You can see how Tristana and Thresh trying to move forward into this lane, trying to get a hook if they can. There's a lot of kill threat here with Gilius coming to the bottom lane if they can land that hook.
Okay, Flash Flay. Hook is going to pull in the bird. Instant ignited. Heat Q. Trying to run for his life. A heal comes out, and he's going to be able to stay alive, but following on the flash and the exhaust, that is a 3 summoner for 2 difference. Actually, Gilius flashed as well, so that's even trade.
Yeah, 3 for 3 overall. Now, Hikyu doesn't have his summoners. The key thing on that is going to be if Jack Troll hits another hook in the lane, there is going to be a lot of damage that comes through because there's no exhaust remaining for NIP. No heal either. So Hikyu would be under a lot of threat.
Speaking of a lot of damage coming through, of course, a lot of trades with Prophet and Ruin up in the top side, but not so much of a wed noodle. It just isn't going to be enough damage to really finish off those kills. Meanwhile, back in the mid, Shook is going to be putting in a cameo, but he dashes away before Jizuke can really do anything about it. Nagne still pushing this wave very hard. He's got to be careful because Gilius is around the corner, and Jack Troll is going to stop the back of Spraddle down on the bottom.
Yeah, you can see the ward that Shook placed, just trying to track Gilius coming to the middle lane. Now Gilius is approaching from the other side here, looking for that mid lane play.
Nagne's respecting. Go too far. Jizuke. Well, this isn't the first time we've seen Gilius play bodyguard.
But it's necessary because look, Nagne just hits level 6, so
yep.
Gilius actually says, no, stop that. Enough of that from you. And it means they can at least not have quite so much go in the way of Nagne when it comes to the push. You can see Nagne even recalling on a ward now. Giants are aware of what is going on. Jack Troll trying to set this up.
Close.
Yep.
Not able to do it. He's going to get rooted up, but here comes Shook. Are they going to get baited in too far? The Arctic Assault! Going to get the slows down here. Feathers flying. EQ looking for some revenge from earlier. Shook still going for the stun. He does get it, but EQ and Spraddle are too low to follow up. Shook, he needs an auto! Oh, he can't do it!
Oh, they even hook him under.
Oh, no. Is he overcommitted here? Gilius is coming. He's going to get the bot. No, it's dodged out. Flashing is Shook, and that was anticlimactic.
No kills in the bottom lane trade. Summoners were used in the previous trade, and Gilius was able to come down to the bottom side to defend. But there's still a big lead for Mini Trupax. And oh, hang on. Stand United comes through.
Yeah, Prophet is going to get the taunt off. However, he's under tower. Mini Trupax is able to shrug him off for the time being. Big investment for NIP down bot. Even Nagne's coming to this party.
Prophet was winning the top lane quite hard here, almost as much as Mini Trupax was winning the bottom lane. And that means NIP did just give up some of their lead to get that Stand United to try and make a play. It's going to delay the recalls of basically everyone. But Giants may end up being happy with that. Of course, Prophet could teleport back to the top side if he wanted to, but actually chooses not to.
It's the most exciting early game we've had so far. And back in the mid, Jizuke. He's also in a deficit against Nagne. This has been one of the more lopsided farm affairs that we've seen. As you rightly mentioned, Prophet had that advantage up on Ruin, who was able to close some of the gap after the Stand United heading down to the bottom side. But we were talking about Mini Trupex, and once again, showcasing how much of a master this guy is at farming and denying farm on the enemy side.
One of the difficulties of playing Janna into Thresh is if you can land the hooks in the lane, which theoretically shouldn't happen, you almost give no sustain. You have a shield, that's great, but Jizuki.
Oh man, on himself, he decides to put out the ultimate. Jizuki's forced to heal though, and Gilius even throws in the barrel for good measure. Nagne nearly came up with a solo kill.
Yeah, that was an awkward trade out of Jizuki, but he knew that with Gilius coming, he was safe enough. They're trying to push out the middle lane. You can see Jack Troll is around as well, but down comes Prophet. This time no ultimate, remember. He is just walking down. They're trying desperately at Giants to hold the mid lane as far away from the tower as they can and deny Nagne as much presence as he had in the last game.
Yeah, recognizing a pretty superior threat. Both teams doing a lot in this series to try and shut down the mid lanes, respectively. But while that's all happening, the other weapon of Giants Gaming, Mini Trupex, continuing to farm it up. And so far, that farm differential has really only resulted in a few hundred gold, but you know, you can see that Hikyu started to close that gap pretty significantly for the time being while Mini was away.
Yeah, there was a big minion wave pushing towards Hikyu. He was able to absorb the majority of it and end up closing some of that gap, but it will be re-established while Hikyu is on his own in the lane, in the bottom lane. It's been an awkwardly paced beginning of the game here.
Not so slow. I mean, we don't have first blood yet. I mean, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, both teams trying their hardest to just make plays and get advantages in the lanes because it has been focusing on those lanes. The junglers have been more active. I say that even with the caveat that Shook was on Elise last game.
Yeah, Shook was on Elise, no longer now. It's the Infernal Drake start, though, out of Gilius, the first jungler to make their move towards an objective, and Shook had just recalled. So there's no way of them contesting this. And this should go over to Giants easily here. They'll move back to the lanes. It did, however, let Nagne push out and let Prophet get into the top side jungle, but the dragon has been taken. Infernal Drake for Giants.
Giants seem to honestly relish the idea of trading dragons even for a little bit of tower damage. They gave up a tower up top because they knew NAP were going to have a superior movement to just take a Constellation Drake, and they don't seem too fussed about it. They don't seem to make these desperate plays when the early game happens. No fluster on this big stage.
No real jitters that we saw, and we saw that as well in the earlier series from them, where Wind and Rain didn't really show up, and Giants are like, okay, we're going to 3-0.
I guess, yeah, it's kind of hard to sneeze when the Wind and Rain just ain't coming down. But
wouldn't want to sneeze into the wind. That would
be unpleasant, to say the least. But for Giants, that is an impressive part of this team. The fact that a team that has spent a lot of time in Challenger, yes, that is, for the most part, dominated Challenger, sometimes, and very often we see, exhibit some troubles when they finally make it to the big stage, the LCS stage, and no longer playing online, playing on a LAN environment. It just has not been the case for Giants. They've been cool under fire consistently. Yeah,
they have. I wonder how much of that is Gilius's influence on the team. He obviously, long-time LCS player and Challenger player, bounced up and between.
Hey man, the guy was at Worlds.
Yeah.
A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, of course.
Stepped in on SK Gaming,
yep.
Yeah.
Subbed in for SK in place of Sven Skeren for a couple of games. Good experience. And you can hear Giants shouting.
Yeah, they're very vocal too. Like, that's the other side of it, right? Like, if you're a team that is making a lot of calls and being active around the map, that can give you an edge a lot of the time. You don't want to have long periods of quiet. You can get lulled into a sense of this game's not going anywhere.
And a lot of it was a direction of the fact that Giants are going to the top side. You can see now Tristana and Thresh on the way up to the top lane. Now Thresh is spotted on a ward, so Prophet knows this lane swap has happened. Yep. Giants are just trying to make a play on the tower with a Tristana. They even forego clearing the ward because they're like, okay, we just need to win this race.
They have not actually gotten first tower blood in the entirety of the series right now. They're looking to change that with this Tristana. Now Prophet is trying to hold on for the time being, but Ruin, if he gets too close, could throw out the Poppycopter. Mini Trupex in the back. It's a three-man taunt, and now Prophet might have overstepped his boundaries here. They hook him right back into the Thresh box. The Monsoon will not be enough, and it's first blood for Gilius. Hikyu whiffs on the ultimate. and he nearly takes down Mini on the return.
Hikyu wasn't a whiff on the ultimate. He was dodging out the Poppy ult just to make sure that Hikyu would survive, be able to keep the wave away from their tower. The Monsoon was so nearly good out of Spraddle. At that point, Ruin couldn't quite get anybody away from the tower. It defends for now, and that means that look at the presence that Nagne had just put out in the middle lane. Had to flash during some of that sequence as well. A lot was used by both teams.
Oh yeah, Giants trying to rush down that top tower. NIP said not today. So the net result is just going to be first blood, but NIP are the ones still with this gold lead.
Oh, Mini Trupax actually took tower aggro to start this off. That's why he dropped so low and was looking to kite back. Hook landed, and it looked like NIP were desperately trying to save. There was the dodge from Hikyu, takes to the skies. At that point, Mini Trupax again nearly dies, and they save the tower and live to fight another day.
Yeah, it is worth. It is definitely worth. But yeah, as you mentioned, a lot of summoners burnt. Nagne has nothing. Hikyu has nothing. Spraddle's only got the exhaust. Shook and Prophet flashes down. And on the Giants side, you know, they've burnt a lot as well, but they have a little more in the tank here. And despite the fact that they're in the gold deficit, they seem to be in a much healthier position in terms of tempo.
Yep, absolutely healthier tempo. And I mean, this game, with only one kill so far, is a lot because NIP are trying to react to Giants, and they're basically almost there a lot of the times, where they're just enough to stop Giants taking anything significant, and then NIP are able to farm themselves a little bit back up. But look at the vision control on the bottom side.
Yeah, play comes down. Hikyu pulling out the feathers once again.
Gilius wants to go, but he did get pinged. Even without vision, NIP sense that something is up.
And now Jizuke has to respect this. Oh, the Glacial Prison comes down. Nagne tags his way forward. Shockwave pulls him back, trying to stay alive, but Shook tanked up the tower and got the spoils of war. And now it looks like first tower might actually be the one in the mid lane. However, Gilius is incoming.
Yeah, he's also got Jack Troll and Mini Trupax in tow.
Got Shook. He's not going to throw the barrel. Hangs onto it for the time being.
The minion.
Minion taxi on the hook, and Ruin comes in, setting up the kill for Mini Trupax.
Not necessarily the taxi they were looking for. The taxi's up in the LCS with Faxi. At that point, it was a bit of a stall because the hook just blocked from hitting Shook. But look, Giants now looking for the play on the tower.
But once again, Nagne spends his culling charge to try and stop all of that aggression. I mean, a lot of plays that are almost huge, but just stop short. The net result is Giants get one more kill. They're still behind in the gold game, though. Yeah. Here was the play.
And this is a play out of NIP looking for Jizuke here in the middle lane. And Jizuke, even through the heal, is taken down by Nagne and Shook. Then it was Gilius coming up with Jack Troll, who was trying to bring Tristana in. They do get the kill on Shook. Look, Jack Troll's like, I'm going to hook him. Oh, hits him again.
That's definitely missing the forest for the trees right there.
It was stood right underneath him.
Yeah. That's what they call unlucky.
Yep. Thought he was past the minion, but unfortunately he wasn't.
Well, the dust has cleared a little bit, right? It's 2-1 kills in favor of Giants, but NIP with the one that they were able to take down Jizuke with all that attention on him, definitely giving them the edge here. However, one Infernal Drake already sitting in Giants' pocket. Another one could be in the cards, as all of Giants are here waiting in this pit.
Trying to do their best ninja impression, hiding.
Oh, you can't hide from the wards, though.
And NIP knew with the Infernal Drake spawning, it was likely that Giants were trying to make a play for it. Shook actually goes in on this just because they see Tristana bottom lane.
Yeah, NIP looking to make the play. Lantern comes out. And it looks like neither team is going to be able to take down this Drake very easily. It has been aggroed. However, Mini Trupax, he's occupied on the bottom side. Nagne's pushing in the middle. Top laner's just top laning.
Oh, Gilius, can they do something with Spraddle and Hikyu here?
Oh, the box, it's down. They're going to pull them in. Hikyu, Spraddle, there's the Monsoon, but Mini Trupax coming in around the side. Shen shield coming out. Spraddle nearly going to fall. Mini jumps in, gets the reset, hops back before the Glacial Prison completes. And Gilius hopping over the wall. Hikyu, that was a lot of damage. Jack Troll going down to Shook. Meanwhile, there is another fight around the pit. Jizuke tanking the calling, and it's Nagne that gets the kill.
Here's
Teleport
a TP.
coming in.
Shen
No, you do not want that.
I think Shen actually blocked it on that exchange. Either that or Ruin cancelled it. Giants trying to hold on the bottom side there.
Never made a trip down to that bottom, even though the shield was on. Gilius now finds himself isolated from the rest of the team, and there's nowhere for him to go with the tower coming through. It's Hikyu with the kill.
NIP coming up with the fight win around the dragon. Remember, it was Giants that were looking for it. Giants couldn't quite hang on through it, even though Mini Trupax survived. Jack Troll, Jizuke, Gilius all got beaten to the punch there. Giants are going to lose the second Infernal Drake. That would have been such a massive factor for them heading forward in this game.
Yeah, now things are going to go more the way of the Ninjas as Nagne getting a last finishing shot. It's smited down, of course, by Shook. Equalizes them on Infernal Dragons. And Mini Trupax can't hop over the tornado.
They're pretty tall, so I hear. I've never seen a tornado, but pretty sure they're quite sizable.
You know, what if I told you they vary in size?
Wow. Well, this team fight looked to be varying back and forth between Giants and NIP. Look, so as Mini Trupax jumps in, he gets the jump reset and jumps before the animation actually hits him of the glacial prison there. And at that point, he's able to jump out and get stunned when he lands. At this point, Jizuki got beaten to the fight. Nagne knows he can just stop the culling. Oh, Ruin actually canceled it. Okay, that's fair.
Wait, you go ahead, man.
Prophet walks up to him, knows the fight is already over, and Ruin goes, okay, I'll stop this now.
Yeah. Okay, so NIP, they get the Dragon. Excellent play out of them, and I feel like Jizuke, this game, has not quite been on the same page with the rest of the team. That was not the safest path to take to try and get into the fight. It was very desperation.
But it's also the focus out of NIP, very similar to Game 3, where NIP said, okay, we're going to draft the Lucian, we're going to try and push in the middle lane, Shook's going to visit a couple of times, this should be something you could handle, Nagne, and it has worked well. It's actually forced Jizuki onto a difficult situation. Now Giants having to flash away is NIP.
This is getting messy. The Rift Herald doesn't even know where to go right now. He just wants to go back home. Nagne, Jizuke, he wanted some revenge. The Monsoon came out. A lot of ultimates already spent. EQ trying to fight it all. Shook getting tanked right back into Mini Trupax. And now Giants might be able to find this fight. The Featherstorm comes out. Prophet flashing away from the rest of the team. Ruin, he's going to get a knock into the wall, and he gets the kill onto EQ. And now the hook is going to not quite connect. But Giants Gaming, they find themselves 2 picks.
And they go on to Mini Trupax as well. 3-0-1 now. They're going to take the Rift Herald and look to break through mid lane. Look at where Nagne is heading, trying to just de-push mid lane, get as much wave clear through as he can before Giants can get there with the Rift Herald. That tower, remember, is very low. So NIP trying to take anything they can to just recover some kind of benefit from that exchange.
I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Mini Trupax is here. He's got the wave clear on this Tristana.
Nagne.
Does he dare? I don't think so. That is a 3-0 Tristana.
Yeah, and a Thresh
Infinity Edge
that sits beside for the hook, potentially. So the exchange started on Jack Troll, who was able to use the box and flash away. But then the re-engage. Mini Trupax is here alongside Jizuki. This time, Jizuki hasn't been beaten to the fight. He is actually there from the beginning. Gilius will get Lantern to the bottom side of this fight, and Shook ends up falling to Mini Trupax, but Jizuki was caught by the ultimate first. From there, Prophet, too low after TPing into the fight, can't quite defend Hikyu, and then NIP are on the run. Giants turn back around, get the Rift Herald, and deny the mid lane push.
So at 20 minutes into the game, Giants, they've managed to take the lead in the gold game. They've got Ruin pushing around on this bottom side. Now we'll probably start to see where this Poppy is going to be doing. Still cleaning up on that fight, very critical on the heroic charge, and even if it's just going to be a bash battle down at the bottom, Ruin seems to be okay with it.
Ruin is at the same point in itemization that they won in the game he played Poppy in.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different game. We still got 5 minutes to go until we actually even get to that point. But yeah, Mini, Jack Troll, Gilius, they're all around, being able to rove as this squad and clear away a lot of vision. NIP have been so flustered trying to finish this mid-turret. They actually don't have a single one in this game.
That's a big problem for NIP, because remember how the last game went? Nagne was able to control. They were able to get side lane towers quite early on. Oh, the hook actually lands.
They're going to go for it. Yes, they will! Jump on top of the Janna. It was Hop City. Mini Trupax with kill number 4. The Rift Herald is live. And now NIP in full damage control mode, trying not to lose, but they will on this mid-turret. Giants pick up number 3. And they keep on moving. They're going to get some serious value here.
Ruin even cancelled Prophet's ultimate, I think, on the chase through the jungle. That's 2 towers from the Rift Herald, and it still survives for a small amount of damage on the inhibitor if they end up getting it to go through.
EQ Featherstorm, that's going to be enough. It does get one more hit, so off of the pick on Spraddle, it turns into a massive swing for Giants. They have a 3,000 gold lead now.
Yeah, NIP, Sprattle was trying to just see where this play was coming from, had the indicator right as Sprattle moves forward. He's like, oh, was trying to cancel it. Oh, but it just finished. Observers showing us just how close that was. And you can see why Spraddle put himself on the line there. The decision-making to say, okay, if I can block this channel, if I can try and get the blind stop on it, maybe they could have got it, but it didn't quite line up for Spraddle there. Ended up dying, and that's the thing. High risk, high reward there from Spraddle.
Well, you've got to do that sometimes, but unfortunately part of the risk was giving Mini Trupax a 4th kill. Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, Azeel. This Tristana is going to be a nightmare. At this point, he's a Mega Trupax.
He is, and he's going to get a lot of benefit from this as well, because he doesn't just have one support, Pyra.
Oh, there's an Ardent Sensor, but I didn't expect to see it that way.
Yep, that's an Ardent Sensor on Orianna in the middle lane. Just give everybody as many Ardent Sensors, because of course it's a Thresh, so you weren't expecting an Ardent Sensor to come through on that.
It was the ultimate bait. Hi, you were going to camp me in the mid and shut my damage down. I'm the support.
Yeah, I'm actually just a support in this game. It was picked up after that exchange. I mean, at that point, Suzuki's just like, great, okay, I still do damage, but...
Well, and it's all protect the carry too, right? Like, obviously Ruin can frontline this, but we haven't really talked about the Knight's Vow that Gilius has in this game. So... it's going to be the mini show.
It will. I hope the price of admission isn't that much more. You know, everything.
No, it's free.
With technology, it goes down in price. It goes down in size and up in price. When you look at,
we don't even charge for subscribers, man.
That's a good point. So let's take a reset on this one, because Giants are in a great position to close this game out. A win here means Giants would be 1 series away from the LCS. A loss here would take us to game 5. NIP would have one more chance in this series to come back and try and reverse sweep. But Giants, a lot of yelling here. They're looking for Shook.
Oh no, and he's going to be all shook up right now. However, they turn the attention on to Jack Troll Nagne. That is a lot of damage with Mini Trupax says, leave him alone. Pick on somebody your own size. Nagne, he is a flash. He was going to be safe in that one, but they turn it right on around. And with a couple of recalls, maybe Giants dare for the Baron.
Yeah, Mini Trupax has 1,200 gold on his person, though, and at that point, he wants to get that 3rd item. It would be such a big damage disparity between Hikyu and Mini Trupax. Look, it's already an item between the two, thanks to the 4 kills Mini Trupax has gotten. This is more of the composition, as you talked about, Devin, Pyrotechnics. This is this type of style we were expecting out of Giants when it's team fights with the shockwaves that'll come through. That's a lot of damage.
Look at that. That was disgusting. And oh, they're going to go pinball. And it looks like Prophet is the one who's knocked right back into the team, and they decide maybe they don't want that fight, so they knock it over into the other side. And Jizuke and the rest of Giants are going to reset off of that fight. 25 minutes in. Continuing to roam through the jungle. This is a murder squad if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, no wizards here, but I'm pretty sure you can say Gilius, he sure plays a mean pinball if he can hit another one of these ultimates from the Gragas. Oh, Shook, careful. The same thing's happening again.
Oh no, the wall bang, and now they're going to have Mini Trupax hopping over. That is not the wall you want to be near, NIP, and Mini Trupax is unstoppable this game. And without that smite on, guess what time it is, Stress?
It's Baron time.
Absolutely.
Maybe winter has come. Shook was at the wrong wall, was trying to defend because Giants right now.
He's always a little cold there.
The onslaught. You don't want to see those Giants because these Giants are looking very dominating.
And they're going to pull Prophet in, turning away from the Baron. It was all just the bait to look for the fight. The Shockwave pulls back one, but that is all Ruin needed to finish the fight. Nagne is caught up, and the Giants will not be stopped. Right back to Baron business.
3 kills for Giants. They take the Baron from this, and NIP, with their backs against the walls, now must find some way to get back into this game, or they will face Mysterious Monkeys next week. But it's all about Giants coming into this series. Everybody was favoring NIP after the win against Fnatic, but Giants have proved they have been able to undo NIP. They have found ways to make the fights work for themselves. Even though Spraddle tries to get the block there, Hikyu still ends up getting caught, ends up stunned. Giants are able to just walk through the rest of the fight, and Giants get the Baron for themselves.
So now Giants Gaming, they've come up with even more. They found themselves with a 6,000 plus gold lead in this game, and NIP on the ropes. Their hopes of staying alive in the European LCS might very well just revolve around beating the Mysterious Monkeys. Now, Giants marching down the mid lane. You can hear once again how vocal this team is when they get excited. Consistent communication and a whole lot of noise.
can see the Giants aren't running the 1-3-1, but here's the lockdown.
It's a hop up, Mini Trupax, he's able to get out of harm's way. Quick reaction on the rocket jump. But Jizuke wasn't even there now, so it's a key ultimate spent by Shook.
Yeah, every time Mini Trupax has just barely been able to input that jump so that it only locks him down afterwards. Mini Trupax not getting caught out initially. Shook has been looking for the ultimates. That's got to be frustrating. The ultimates keep connecting, but it's not enough. Now, on they push towards the tower. Even through the Janna shield, they want to try and get there.
Should be able to do it here now. Prophet, he's trying to hang tough, but he's running out of health for the time being, and it looks like Giants will be the ones to open up the base once again. 3 games on this red side, and 3 games, they're looking good.
At this point, Giants, they've been able to adapt. You got to wonder how well their coach, Andre the Giant, has been able to take them through this series. It was a 1-3-1 setup in the first 2 games. They fell to the mid lane pressure from Nagne in game 3, and they've been able to counter a lot of that as Giants just marching for a second inhibitor tower and looking for a second inhibitor through this Baron buff.
And they managed to catch on to Hikyu. Some defense here out of the Shen, but it doesn't matter. Box is already down. They've got the minions to work with. NIP can only fall back as their base is in ruins once again. Inhibitor going to be fired down, and NIP might just have one last shot at redemption, but with 3-man stun, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Mini Trupax with a godlike kill. Shockwave whiffs, doesn't even matter. Nagne's on the wrong side of the fight. The double kill from Mini. He hops back in on the reset. The minions are pouring in, and a glacial prison doesn't mean a thing. This is going to be it. Down go the Nexus turrets, and down go the Ninjas' hopes. They'll have to play in that loser's match. But for this team on the other side, they might be Giants, and they are stomping the competition in the promotion tournament.
Giants with a convincing win against NIP. You look at these games like this where Giants get a lead, and as soon as they have a lead, they hold on and don't let it go. A couple of different play styles, but at the end of game 4, 8-0-3 was exactly what Giants needed from Mini Trupax. The Tristana comes out, a good performance. They were able to punish in a lot of fights, and NIP just couldn't answer.
I want to amend my earlier statement. He evolved all the way up to Mega Trupax. That guy was fed. Very impressive performance of the entire Giants squad, and I think you really hit it on the adaptability. We saw them play control game. We saw them play, collapse and punish, and this team fight was so impressive.
Yeah.
Rarely do we see a well-coordinated challenger team on that level that also does not kind of fail at this big stage. And Giants Gaming, I think Minnie in his interview the other week was right to say the LCS team should fear them.
Yeah, one of them were fearing them, and now, unfortunately, for NIP, they don't have the opportunity. We'll see whether it is fear or Schalke null fear that is going to succeed next week, as it's Giants versus Schalke in a best-of-5. One team is going into the LCS for the 2018 Spring Split, but you can see how much it means to Giants to be one step away from making it back.
For the Giants org, after having been relegated out of the LCS, to come back in, showcase such a strong performance. I don't know what can stop these guys. Maybe Schalke, but for the time being,
maybe the Schalke tank.
I mean, that's going to be an excellent matchup.
It will.
A lot of history behind it, too, because remember, Giants is the only team they really lost to. But impressive all around. Multifaceted play, coordination, effective communication. I mean, those are all the hallmarks of successful teams.
Yeah, a really impressive performance out of Giants overall. Over the course of 4 games, most points looked like the stronger team. I don't think that's unfair to say. NIP did answer back in game 3, but unfortunately 3-1 on the series means Giants are going to advance to the winners match.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that updated bracket and see how the rest of it is all going to unfold. As you rightly mentioned, Schalke 04 versus Giants. The winner of that game will go straight to the LCS. However, Mysterious Monkeys and NIP, the loser, hops back down into the Challenger Series. And of course, with the things laid out the way they are, now we know there will definitely be a new team in the European LCS come spring.
Guaranteed one old LCS team making it back. Giants, I hope you just heard the chant in the background. High morale for them, and it's going to be a very exciting matchup. Mysterious Monkeys versus NIP did meet up once in the EU LCS Summer Split. and it was MM that took that. We'll see whether that still holds true. These matches will take place next week for the promotion tournament.
Yep, of course. Indeed, we'll see some interesting ones going through, and I feel like when desperation kind of comes out there, we'll see what happens, because MM, as you rightly said, they were able to take the win, but I think at the end of the split, NIP were the ones that were looking better, and I wonder who takes the loss harder.
Yeah, that's true. I think the biggest takeaway from today, though, again, Mini Trupax and Jizuki looking good.
Oh, man,
you called him
up.
Mega Trupax, Mega Evolution, Giga Evolution Trupax. Maybe we'll see next week if he can come up with some Trupaxium Z.
We'll find out.
Take it to the next level on top of that. But he is looking like a real machine, and I think Trupax versus Upset is a real cool matchup for next week's series.
Definitely won't want to miss that one. Now, don't forget that the EU LCS playoffs, they are just around the corner, with Unicorns 11 Misfits Gaming kicking things off in the first quarterfinal tomorrow. So, of course, we want to see you guys tuning in for that one. And if you liked a lot of action, well, any game with Unicorns is certainly going to be a lot of action.
It's a Unicorn versus a former Unicorn once again for Misfits and the Unicorns of Love. It's been a rough split from two teams that were aiming to be towards that final. Of course, Unicorns in the spring finals, Misfits in the third place game. Now one of them cannot progress any further. Should be a very fun matchup.
Yeah. I think the only question that's really still on my mind about that one, though, is PoE going to build Ardent Sensor Orianna?
Or Nash's Tooth on everything.
Oh, that's always going to happen.
Mid lane matchup is going to be so key because Exile, he's kind of on the upswing a little bit, but Power of Evil has been a monster all the way through the split for Misfits, one of the real carries for that team. I even think that could be a 5-game series.
Oof. Well, bold prediction, but I think it's definitely going to be an exciting one. Now, it is time for us to call tonight from here in Berlin, so thank you for watching. We'll be back with more action in the promotion tournament in the next week, so we'll see you then. Is coming in.
Oh, hang on.